Keenum comes in and lights it up? What do they do with Baker Mayfield? Is it potentially like, hey, he's injured, even if he isn't, they sit him for a couple games here? What do you do in that situation?
I mean, Andrew Berry's the GM up there. Stefanski's the head coach. Neither one of those guys was in place when Mayfield was drafted. That was a John Dorsey draft pick up there. I don't think there should be any affinity for him, special affinity or special treatment. I think if Keenum comes in and plays well, and then Mayfield is still dealing with, again, the inflammation in this torn labrum in his left shoulder, I see no reason why you wouldn't, if you were the Browns, play Keenum again. But I don't think it's going to end up being that way. I think they're going to kowtow to Baker Mayfield. I think that's going to end up working out in the Steelers' favor. They the team did draft him 1 overall. Jimmy Haslam was, of course, there for that, Richie. And I think there's this idea that, come on, we're going to make him into our franchise quarterback. They're 3-3. They need to win football games. That's the bottom line here. And if Case Keenum comes in, plays well tomorrow, if they were smart, they would start him against the Steelers on Halloween. But I think they might be stubborn here. You know what's the other troubling thing about this? Mayfield saying something, and I'm paraphrasing him here, I know my body better than anybody. I'll be the one to determine if I play. Maybe that gets mischaracterized for what it really was. You know, Mayfield's really declaring something more about pain tolerance than anything. But if I'm the head coach and I'm the team doctors, I'm thinking, actually, we'll tell you if you're going to play. It doesn't work that way. You don't just get to shot call things. I don't even think Ben Roethlisberger, Tom Brady, or any great quarterback from this era, if they were hurt to the degree Mayfield is, would be going around saying, I'm going to be the guy who decides whether or not I play. That's ridiculous. That's a bad sign for me. It's a guy desperate to prove his critics wrong, possibly to his team's detriment if he gets his way.
Well, you know, Keenum's not going to have any weapons either. I mean, Nick Chubb's not going to play. Kareem Hunt's not going to play. Odell Beckham hasn't practiced all week. Jarvis Landry, I mean, is he coming back? I mean, they have nobody, essentially. And they're going to probably be in a similar position even in 10 days.
Well, I think what they will have is, I know their offensive line is extremely beat up as well. I mean, they have been beset by injuries. I think 20 guys on their injury report for this week. They've still got Bill Callahan coaching that line. They've still got some talent there. They've got some talent on the defensive side of the ball that's at least not walking wounded. Austin Hooper, Donovan Peoples-Jones. I mean, there are a couple of players still that could make you scared. I think that Cleveland is a pretty well-coached, well-schemed team. And so I wouldn't just look at the lack of big names. I know those running backs are so important to what they do. I wouldn't look at the lack of big names and automatically discount them. I think they are a better structured sort of built roster to maybe withstand that for 1 or 2 games, but probably not much more.
You know, Keenum is a guy that I wouldn't have mind seeing coming here to Pittsburgh a couple years ago. I mean, look what he did in Minnesota. Got him to into the playoffs, deep into the playoffs. And now he's a backup. I don't know if the guy's a starter, but I think he's better than everyone that's backing up Ben right now, and maybe he's even better than Ben.
Well, here's the demonstrable truth about him. I mean, just as it pertains to Cleveland, he has a better season. That 2017 where they ended up, yes, getting blown out in the NFC title game by the Eagles, but he got them there with the Minneapolis Miracle to Diggs. That 2017 is a better season than Mayfield has ever had in the pros. You go by passer rating, not a perfect metric, but you go by a lot of other stuff, it's better. Case Keenum, he is what he is, but I think his strongest attribute, he's in his mid-30s. He knows exactly what he is as a player. He's not going to be somebody that tries to overextend himself. He's going to be decisive. He knows the reads. He knows the offense. He knows where the ball is supposed to go. And I would say more than most backups, he's capable of actually getting it there. I think there were a lot of people that felt when he was brought on in Cleveland that might, they wondered, what's that going to do with Stefanski? Are they going to be tempted to go to him at the first sign of trouble? That really hasn't been the case, but I think for what they're facing right now, they're in pretty good hands with Case Keenum. I really believe that.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'd love to hear from you guys out there, 412-575-2600. Continue the Steelers conversation. Also, talk about a big Pitt game coming up on Saturday at Clemson. They're rare favorites against the Tigers. Back in a couple minutes.